So you have set your calories, you've set your macronutrients. Now you're wondering, what about a meal plan? How do I translate that information into actually creating a healthy, well-balanced meal plan that aligns with my goals? That's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's video. The past two videos that we've gone through, we figured out calories for weight loss. We also figured out macronutrients for weight loss. So if you haven't seen those videos yet, I suggest you watching those because then this video is going to make so much more sense to you. To create our macro-based meal plans, we're going to follow this simple 5-step process, which starts with the known calories and macronutrients. We're going to distribute those throughout the day. Then we are going to fulfill those macronutrient needs with different macro-based foods, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Step 3 is going to be making sure that we're not only meeting our calorie and macronutrient needs, but rather our micronutrients, so our vitamins and our minerals, in addition to our fiber, antioxidants, and anything else that we need. Step 4 is going to be going back and adding any foods that we need to make sure we're getting in order to meet all of those nutrient needs. And then step 5 is making sure that we are limiting foods and nutrients that we just typically need to get less of. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to build your own macro-based meal plan, so definitely stick around till the end. I'm Noah Casada, I'm a registered dietitian, and I'm also a weight loss coach. Each week, I'm producing a new one of these videos that are just going to be a helpful resource, tips, tricks, whatever it might be, so definitely subscribe for more. If you found something or got something out of this video, definitely smash that like button so that the algorithm or whatever can help other people find it too. So let's go ahead and dive into the rest of this video. Step number 1, we are going to take our total daily calories, protein, grams of carbohydrate, fats, and we're going to divide those by the number of meals that we want to eat per day. What that might look like is taking our total daily calories and divide it by 3 or 4, taking our total daily protein intake and divided by 3 or 4, taking our total carbohydrate intake, dividing it by 3 or 4, and finally taking our fat and dividing it by 3 or 4 meals per day. In this example, we have someone that has 1,700 calories, about 127 grams of protein, in addition to about 47 grams of fat, and roughly 191 grams of carbohydrate. What we're going to do here is we're going to take each one and we're going to divide it by 4. So we're going to take 1,700 calories and divide it by 4. We're going to take 127 grams of protein and divide it by 4. We're going to take 47 grams of fat and divide it by 4. And we're going to take 191 grams of carbohydrate and divide it by 4. By dividing our daily totals into 4 separate meals, we are now going to have about 425 calories per meal. We're going to have about 32 grams of protein per meal, about 12 grams of fat per meal, and 47 grams of carbohydrate per meal, right? That takes that massive number of a daily total, 1,700 calories, 127, makes it much more manageable, right? 420 calories, 32 grams of protein is a much more manageable chunk of information that we can then just follow or abide by as we go on throughout our day. Now we're on to step 2, where we can actually start to build out this meal plan. And more specifically, we can start building macro-friendly meals that we know add up to our daily totals, again, aligning with our goals. This is how we're going to do that. We're going to start by clarifying what macros are in specific foods and what we should look out for. To help us understand this idea of what macros are in specific foods, I have created this 3-parted Venn diagram where we have a circle for carbohydrates, we have a circle for dietary fats, and we have a circle for dietary protein. And within each circle, you can see there are food items that are most associated with that food group. But then you can also see where there's portions where there are a blend between the two, where they might have more than one macronutrient in there. And that's going to be the case a lot of the time, right? Finding foods that are solely one macronutrient is pretty rare. You're going to find several cases where there are going to be several different macronutrients within one food. So knowing that going into this, just be aware of what macros are in each food. I like to use a saying called pick your protein, find your fats, and choose your carbs. You want to try and first pick a protein source that is going to be a lean protein source, right? It's not going to have a ton of saturated fat in there. Then, right, you're going to want to find your fat. So making sure that your protein source doesn't have fat, or you didn't cook with a fat, or you didn't add fats to, let's say, your salad or your dressing or something along those lines. So you're going to want to find your fat to make sure that it's not in there, and if it's not, we go ahead and add some healthy fats. Finally, you're going to want to choose your carb. Really, you just want to pair your carbohydrate with your protein source, right? You want something that tastes good and goes well and complements that meal. In addition, right, you're gonna wanna focus on choosing a carbohydrate that is a whole grain, a fruit, or a vegetable. And then when you start to build your meals, it's simple as picking your protein, finding your fat, and choosing your carb. Let's walk through an example of this. Let's do this for breakfast. So first we're gonna pick our protein. Let's say we do a couple of eggs. Then we are going to find our fat. We know that eggs have a little bit of fat in there, and maybe we're cooking our eggs in a little bit of butter or oil or something along those lines. And so we now have found our fat. We have our protein. We pair that with a carbohydrate like toast. Throw in a couple pieces of toast, we now have built out a meal that has our protein, our fats, and our carbs. All right, so we're on to step number 3, where we are going to now double check our work to make sure we're not only meeting our macronutrients and our calories, but we're also meeting all the other nutrients that our body needs. So calories are only one part of this equation, macros are another part of this equation, but we also need to make sure that we're getting all the micronutrients, so the vitamins and minerals that we need, in addition to the fiber and antioxidants that our body needs to maintain healthy function. I like to do this using a calorie and nutrient tracking tool called Cronometer. Let me go ahead and walk you guys through how I would do this. I went ahead and finished out our 1700 calorie meal plan here. This meal plan offers just under 1700 calories, 124 grams of protein, almost 200 grams of carbs, and about 44 grams of fat. Now, it's not exactly the macros that we had, but really close. For this meal plan, we've got 4 eggs, we've got 3 pieces of toast, 1 protein shake with 2 Rice Krispie treats. Then we have a wrap for lunch that has a white tortilla, some deli meat, and some mayonnaise. Then we have some chicken breast with some rice for dinner, and then maybe a snack before bed of some Honey Nut Cheerios with milk. And as you can see here, macros look fine, but when we come down here, our nutrient score is rather low, right? We have about 74% of the total nutrients that we need. In addition, we only have 44% of our antioxidants, 5% of vitamin C, right? So we're definitely missing some nutrients. So that's what we're gonna see next, is how we're going to take this information and actually make it so that we're providing more nutrient value. Step number 4. We're going to take the foods that are high in specific nutrients and we're going to add them into our diet to make sure that we have a very well-rounded, well-balanced, healthy meal plan. We are going to achieve almost 100% on our meal plan by including the 5 food groups. The 5 food groups are your lean proteins, your whole grains, your fruits, your vegetables, and your low-fat dairy. By including different sources of foods from each of these groups, you will ensure that you will meet every nutrient requirement, right? Your calories, your macros, your micronutrients, so your vitamins, your minerals, in addition to your fiber and your antioxidants. So let's go ahead and look at how we're going to add this to our meal plan. We're back to the meal plan here, where we have almost perfectly met our macronutrients and our calories by eating this way. However, right, we fell a little short with our micronutrients, so our vitamins and our minerals, and our fiber and our antioxidants. So we're going to use the 5 food groups to make sure that we are meeting these nutritional requirements. So to do this, we want to find how many servings of, and we want to compare it to our meal plan here. We can go through each meal. Where's our whole grain? Where's our fruit? Where's our vegetable? Where's our low-fat dairy? And where is our lean protein? And as we can see, right, for the first one, we don't have a whole grain, we don't have any vegetables, so we can automatically add them there. With our second meal, we, again, don't have any fruit, we don't have any technical low-fat dairy, we don't have any whole grains. And then same thing with meal 3, we're missing that as well. We pretty much only have the protein. Meal 4, again, we only have the protein source in there. Meal 5, at least we have some whole dairy. Instead, right, we could have something like a whole grain sprouted bread like Dave's Killer Bread for breakfast instead of the white toast. We could add some spinach and some tomato in, right? Instead of having the Rice Krispie treats, we could swap it out for an apple for the little afternoon snack that we had. We could then add much more to our turkey wrap. So we could put in a whole grain tortilla. We could add some mixed greens. We could add some low-fat Swiss cheese in there. We could put some cucumber in there, all just boosting the nutritional profile. Again, right, we could swap the white rice out for a quinoa and then adding some veggies to it as well is going to boost that nutritional value as well. But we also brought up our fiber. We also brought up our vitamin C. significantly brought up our antioxidants, and significantly brought up all of our targets there. Just as a quick example, I'm sure we could flesh this out even more and bring in some more vitamin C and get in some more vitamin D and vitamin E. But with that being said, right, by incorporating the 5 food groups and adding that layer into your meal planning process, you just make it so that you're not missing anything out of your diet. Step 5 is going to be finding the foods and ingredients that we want to try and get less of. These food and ingredients include your saturated fat, your added sugar, and your sodium. To identify saturated fat, you can look at sources like full-fat dairy or your fattier cuts of beef. Removing those from your diet will remove a significant amount of saturated fat, in addition to removing things like butter and coconut oil as well. When trying to limit sodium, you want to look at the nutrition facts label and make sure that it is not too much sodium per serving. You can also look at the packaging of a food or product, and it should say either reduced sodium or low sodium if you're looking for a lower sodium option. For added sugar, you can look at the nutrition facts label. They actually have it listed there where you can say, hey, this has added sugar or this doesn't. Many times they'll say that on the food packaging as well. In this video, we went through creating a meal plan from scratch, from zero, to having a full-blown meal plan that has all of the macros, calories, micronutrients, fiber, vitamins, minerals, everything that we need. We did that through a 5-step process, which was super simple, easy to break down, and I hope you really get a kick out of it. Again, I'm Noah Casella, I'm a dietitian. If you like this video, definitely hit that like button because it'll help other people find it as well. Subscribe for more evidence-based weight loss tips and content. Finally, if you have any questions, comments, or thoughts, please leave them down below. I look forward to hearing them and getting back to you as soon as possible. With that being said, I will see you guys next time.